Hello, traders. Good afternoon, wherever part of the world you're watching at. You're welcome to Wayfield Capital. In today's video, an entire, I'll be covering an entire concept on how you can trade forex market, especially if you are a new beginner. And this program is for an intermediate traders. If you are new and intermediate, that means you have a basic knowledge of trading. Then you want to see if you can build up systems or build up a trading strategy or build out certain things that you think you can work with, including from risk management and all. I'll be covering everything inside this video. So if you are new to the channel, before we begin, please remember to subscribe, like, share this video, and also drop a comment in the comment section whenever or whatever aspect you face challenges that you would love us to address. Remember to put that in the comment section down there below. So like I said, in this program today, what we are going to do is that we are going to cover an entire intermediate program with the forex market. So what means is that I'm going to teach you how to read first an entire market structure, right? I'll be teaching you how to read an entire market structure, how to break down basic and advanced microstructure from the market, understanding direction of the trend, know how to draw trend lines, know how to identify chart patterns, okay? Then know how to take your trades. Then at the end of the video, I'll be showing one of my best risk to reward ratio and the possible risks that I use. And when I do that, I am able to produce up to 60% at 1% risk per trade a month. And also I can produce or at least a minimum of 30% averagely with a 0.5% risk per trade. So these are not just clickbaits. I'll be showing you everything in this video step by step. So if you are joining us for your first time, please come on guys, subscribe, like, and turn on the bell notification icon. So whenever I drop a video like that, you will be able to stay up to date and you'll be able to see what we are doing. So now we are looking out at the market of we are looking out at the market of what Euro USD. Right? We are looking out on Euro USD. So what I possibly have here in front of me is just a simple market consolidation. If you can see everything, right? You can see that an entire market structure here is ranging, right? It's ranging everywhere, ranging from up to down. So at this level, what do you think you should be doing? Possibly, most price action traders will want to wait for a technical breakout away from this level. All right, the one's glitch. So what I said is that when we are around that position like that, we want to see how many things that are happening around here. I always draw my toolbox around the opening and closing price, not at the highs, not at the low, because when I shift this thing to my line chart, what I will see is that I'm looking for areas where momentum of price will be in built. So when I look along this area, I'll have one, right? I'll have one here, right? I'll have two. Okay, we have another one here. Okay, then we have another resistance here got broken. We have another resistance. We have resistance. Then we have support, right? So you see that along this area, the resistance area got tested multiple times more than the support, meaning that price at every indication was showing signs of breaking away from this direction. So when price came here, price came and closed at this high, right? Faked out a bit, then came down, possibly probably want to go long on that at this breakout. But what happened? Price just break a level at this point, then came back in, went all high, then come back all in. So what we are looking at now at this area, if I was to look this or perhaps if I'm to trade this as a range market, I'll possibly be waiting for the market to send down 50%, which will be around this area from this low to this high 50% here. I can wait for the market to draw that. You can do that using a Fibonacci 2 retracement, which I'll also be covering that, but not in this video. I'll be making another video for that. Or you can possibly wait now to identify possible price structure that can prompt you to go ahead and buy this market. Or simply you can go in here and use simple trend direction of the market to trade, right? Because from here you can see it clearly that we have a downward market here, right? We have a downward market, we have a down uh, a lower low here, lower high, and have a lower low at this market. That was a simple trend structure, right? So we have the downtrend market around this level. And then when we look back along this high here, what happened? We have price breaking away from the zone. So we have what? We have a high which broke away from this lower high. So we have a higher high. Then we have what now? A higher low. Then what we are looking along this level is for this higher high to be broken. then we can confirm that we have a trend, right? We have a trend downtrend and we have an uptrend. This is a simple change in market direction. So you can simply spot that. And if I was to take this trade based on this simple trend trading, what I'm going to do is that I can come here right now. I can go long as soon as we have a breakout along that level, right? I can come here and have my trade along that area. Then I go now for my possible trade entry, right? Which is what? I go now for my possible trade entry. What I do is that I trade at a 1 to 5 risk to reward ratio, right? My all my take profits are 1 to 5 risk to reward ratio, nothing more, nothing less. And there you would have had a possible clean trade. So when you come here again back after having this along this area, right? After having this market here, let me just take this out. So I'll go have a clear chart explain this out. So when we look around this area again, what do we see here? We have market creating new high direction back from here. Okay, so we look around after we had this first trend going up, we have to break out here. So change in direction at this level. So what do we have? We have an uptrend, right? Then we have look at we have a low, a lower high, and a lower low. Then price broke back again. So we have a downtrend structure and we have this level. So when we have this again, we have a break along that level. So we possibly want to go more long again on that level. Then we possibly target for 1 to 5 with to a ratio going up, right? Those are how simple you can make your trade to look like. But now let's go right into the key information. How did I manage to find myself here at this point? How did I manage to find myself right here at this point, right? Let me show you how you can do this so you'll be able to trade on your own. Being able to like the goal here is to make trading to be as easy as possible. Okay, make it easy because it's already complex. It's a whole complex business on its own. So the best thing is to have a simple trading strategy which you can easily understand. So one thing I want you to do about let's find out something around here, right? When we come about we talk about market structure, right? So market structure is just simply how we study how price behave with respect to what time and what? Okay, how time and momentum, right? So we look at this market, right? We are studying market structure with respect to how price behave with respect to time. So if I'm looking around this area, yeah, this was that area of consolidation, right? So what I want to do, yeah, I can see what I can see is simple uptrend, right? This is a trend going up. I can easily tell that the market from this direction is heading all the way up, right? But was it really heading up? That's the question. Was it really heading up? So the market was not really heading up as we all saw when there was something around this level. When we look from year to year, right? From this low, let me put it up or pick up there. Let me just make it big for you guys to see. When we look at this market from this position here to this high here, okay, from this low to this high, what do we see? We have a high, we have a low, right? The low is a bearish candle, we have a high, series of bullish candle, we have a low. From the bearish candle, we have a high, series of bullish candle, then we have again a low. Now this is not just a low, right? Here we have a simple higher structure, right? We have a high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, right? Then suddenly we have a lower low, right? And we have a lower area means that price structure or price level at this position got broken. So what we expected here, we're expecting price could have easily changed direction or change character. I just simply here would have expect market to do this, right? If the market would have gone up, then come back down, they would have not okay, it's fine. Price is changing from bullish to bearish trend. So we cannot really say the price is changing from bearish just because it's broke this level. That's how fake out happened. And a lot of traders are being taken out of the market like that. So what we see things happening here is that we have this level here that is being broken, right? We have this low here being broken. So I can call this now. I can call this entire leg wave here, right? I can call this all as my complex. This is a complex bullish structure, right? Have this. We have a simple, then price break off. So I can have this now as what it's an entire uptrend, right? It's a complex bull trend as well. So what we have here around this level is that our breakout took a position along this level. We have a breakout with this bullish momentum candlestick. So at that bullish momentum candlestick, we can have a trade along that area and we have our stop loss there. Then we go now for what we want to do, right? You can shift it up. Like I said, my recommendation for my take profit is 1 to 5 risk to reward ratio. Okay, so this is how you do it. So now let's look at a typical example of a downtrend structure, right? Downtrend structure. Now I want to look where the market is making a downward move, right? Let's look at where we have a clear structure of the market heading down. Okay, so let's look out on something here. Let's check out something. Okay, so what do I have here? What do I really have here? What do I have here? If we look at this market, right? So what we are looking at here at this market, let's take this example. So I want to break down this level here because if you don't know how to break down charts, you always have complexity when you are trading. So the last thing that we had over here was that we had a high at this position, right? We have a high up there. Then you have here our second higher, right, which became our major key points. So those were our major key points out there in the market. So key areas that we want to pay our attention on. So when I'm looking out on things here, what do I really see here? If I have a trend, I have a simple trend. So I can say from this high right down to this low here, it's a simple bearish trend. We would have probably say, hey, no, the market did something here. No, the market did not do anything here. Right? When you look at this key area here, we will look out at this low at this area of the support. This was our last low point. We have our last low point right here. So this bearish candle did not break. This candle would have broken below, then pull back to come down here. We would have said we have a down structure. After they looking for a sell-off right at this level, right? So what happened there is that we had nothing. It's just a simple downtrend market. So what we have here is this. You understand? So when we have this market now, one, the market is already showing us signs that okay, fine, we have a down and levels, a lot of levels here has been broken. So we could have possibly be looking out now for the market to pull back, like I explained on the bullish trend, we would have like looking from where the market was heading towards, right? We see that we have been looking for the market to break up along this area for us to look out for a buy, but we have a pullback. Price never got a light up to this point, so price got somewhere around here, got rejected. So what we are looking out now for was why or what are the reasons that price got rejected at this level? Because when you look along this point here, what we can see is that we have minor key points. But when you look at the market entirely, it's a strong bullish trend, right? So there was no reason here to do, or there was no reason here to really go long if these conditions here were not broken, because that was a whole bearish market, that bullish market that had the possibility of getting filled if you look at it, right? When you look at it go past time. So we look at this market now. Like I said, the only condition that would have to buy this market was having price break all the way up to this level, right? Breaking away up to this level here, but price never did. So rather, while we're waiting on this price, since we had this as a major simple, right? We had this as a simple structure low going down. Then we have this for a simple structure high going down to this level. We have one, two, three also, right? These are sub minor trends happening in here. Since this level we could not buy, and the same thing we could not really buy here, but rather we want to study what price character was doing within this zone. So now when we have price breaking along this area, right? When we have price breaking along this area, our point of interest now became this new low, right? Our point of interest became this new low. So what we could, or what we would have loved to do here was to monitor price behavior when price got to this level, thereby waiting for a price to break. And we have this rejection, we have this strong candle, and we have a breakout along that area, right, when price came. So it was easy now for us to have a trade along that area, right? Going out, depend as a 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio. Take it down 1 to 3. So so we had it at 1 to 2, 1 to 3. Price really never got there. It was 1 to 2. Then we had price pulling back up all the way. So we could have easily had this as well. So that's why the market we are looking for trend direction on this aspect. So 1 to 2, it fits a situation for a 1 to 2, right? 1 to 2. So that was a good market year, having the market heading all the way down to this level. Now, when we had this at 1 to 2, what do we have also? Like I said, when price is shifting or when price is creating new aspect, what you want to do or what you want to pay attention on is to understand how price character is changing, right? You see that we had a major low. Then we have a major high along this level, right? We have a major high. Let me take out this. You have a high at this level, then we have a low. Now, one thing was setting around this area, price was not going anywhere. Rather, we had price consolidating, we had price moving more sidewardly rather than trending. There was no trend here, it was simply a price range. So we expected price to break and pull down, but there was really nothing here to do that we could sell out price along this area. So if we took price along this level, we had a loss, creating a new higher structure here, then all the way down. So it became a different concept. Now, let me take you back again to another position, right? Let me explain this now to you in a situation that you understand yourself better. So now what do we have here? What do we have right here? Let's look at what we have at this rotation here, right? Let's look at what we have at this level. When I look at this market here, we have a low, right? Look at we have a low as the market drop. We have a rapid drop of price down at this level. Then we have price is creating new series of highs, right? We have a low, lower high. Then what do we have here? Right, we have a series of low, then we have a lower high, right? We have a lower high, but this was not a lower low, right? Like I said, you pay attention to critical areas where price is changing. So when you look at this level here, what do we have? We have this level and we have this, yeah. So what we have here was we have a higher low, right? We have a lower high and a higher low. When we have something like this, that means it's already telling us that price is doing something, because what we expected was for this price here to break away from this level and goes down, but price never got to this zone. Rather, price created what a higher low, right? Then it broke along this area. Now, what we can simply see here was simply a change in trend direction. Here we have a downtrend. Here we have this, right? So we have one, two, three. Like I said, this is an example of a bullish trend, right? That's an example of a bullish trend. So we have an example of a bullish trend right there. So an example of a bearish trend, we have this, right? So what we can simply see here was that we have this situation happening in here, and as soon as price breaks away from that area, we can literally wait for price to come back for a retest along this point, right? We will possibly follow out at a breakout there. Most of the time price can break, but it will never come back for a retest. Sometimes it comes back for a retest. It depends now on what edge you want to build it as a strategy. You can build it as a sustainable strategy, waiting for breakout and a retest back on this area before you have your long position here, right? You can have your long right there. Then you go now have the market going up. Let's just fit it at the 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio. Okay. So let's just have it at 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio. So we can have the market right along that area there. Boom. And the market just went up. Okay. So the same situation happened, right? Since we are waiting for price to meet our take profit along this area, we have the same structure happening, right? So we have an entire structure of this, right? A bullish, right? A bearish trend, then a bullish breakout. So what we wanted to do like this, like since we were waiting for a retest, this is a situation that retest never occurred, price never came back for a retest. So technically, after this break here, there was no trade, for a retest for us to have a trade before we go long on price. So technically, we have just this first position. Like I said, it depends now on your edge over the market. Do you think it is more preferable to build a breakout strategy, using this level, right, waiting for price to break, come back to a retest, or once as price breaks away from that area, you want to strike? So it is not just to say you want to build a strategy that comes with a breakout and a retest before you tap a trade, or a strategy that goes with a breakout immediately, then you execute. But what you want to do is that you want to build up a trade system. You like if I say I want to work with a break and retest, I want a system to break, comes back for a retest, and I go back in time. I backtest the trades multiple times to see what can possibly happen. If it works well, then I can build that up as a system, because like let me tell you one thing. Trading is just a concept of buying and selling. Irrespective of whatever strategy that you use, you will still be profitable, right? You'll have losses, you'll have winners. You just have to build an edge over the market. Like I said, always try to increase your risk to reward ratio. Like I said, make it 1 to 5. May I do 1 to 5? I know that no matter if you have 20% win rate in the market, I can have 10 trades. I have just two winning trades going in my direction. And within that concept, 20% win rate, I'll still be able to make a profit, right? I'll still be able to make a profit of at least 2%. So if I'm having 30% win rate, you can see me scaling up to over 8% profit in the market and more, depending on what happens. So imagine if I'm having 40% win rate now, it would be a good return on my investment. So that is it. If you have watched this video right down to this level, please consider again subscribing, consider commenting. Also, please subscribe so that YouTube algorithm will be able to recommend our videos to other viewers out there. Since we are starting out, our first channel got hacked, we got deleted, so we are creating back another channel back from scratch, building what we are building so that we'll be able to give you out the knowledge that we have spent years to build. Okay, if in case you don't understand something, you drop that in the comment section. I'll pick out random topics, address it in video form, then I'll upload it for you to understand. So if you have done it this far, thank you for watching and see you on our next video. Bye.